Today on the show, we continue with our Moto Madness series with the Harley-Davidson 48. We learn about a renegade project better known as super speeders, and I go drifting. Well, sort of. Welcome to the Auto123 show. I'm Donna Melling-Park, your humble host and automotive adventurer extraordinaire. Now, before we explore this week's adventures, let's first swing by the studio, pull into the pit stop, catch up with Mathieu St-Pierre, and fuel you up on some transmission tidbits.
Why is it that every time I walk into this studio, I'm either freezing so bad that my nipples are hard enough to cut diamonds, or it's so hot I'm swimming in a pool of my own sweat? Donna gets to go outside. All right, fine, I'll do it. Okay, so we're going to talk about transmissions today. Yes, transmissions, you all know what that is, right? And so, all right, so here we go. I'm going to be serious. Trannies. No, I'm not referring to your neighbor who now goes by the name Fran as opposed to Frank when you first met him. A transmission is one of the many important components that make your car mobile, hence automobile. Only 10 or 15 years ago, tranny choices were limited in most cases to a 5-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic. In 2010, the lineup of available boxes has more than doubled. You can still get a basic manual or automatic, but now you can add to that an automated manual, an automatic with a manual mode, and a continuously variable transmission or CVT. What's more, the number of gears has also increased. If you're considering an automatic, depending on your budget, you can get 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 cogs. Manual boxes are still limited to 5 or 6 though. So let's go through them. Your average auto box needs you to slap the shifter in D and you're off. Done. Not much explanation required here. The power is fed through components that you may have heard of: torque converter, planetary gears, differential, and then onto the wheels. C2. Now say you move that lever to the right, left, or down. If your transmission is equipped with a manual mode, you can either control the gears by pushing or pulling on the lever or by using the paddles. By doing so, you're controlling the transmission shift points and you can get just that little extra out of your engine. A little bit more fun, actually. A manual gearbox requires much more involvement. It needs your left leg activating the clutch and your arm, one or the other, depends where the car comes from, moving the shift lever into the proper gear. Easy enough. Now that is, if you can find the friction point. That's when the clutch disc begins to spin in perfect synchronicity with the engine without slipping. Now, if you want a manual box, but you don't want to do the shift in your left leg, you got a bum left leg, you can get an automated manual. It works much like an automatic where you must put the shifter in D, but instead of working a torque converter, 1 or 2 clutches are actually working the shifts. At the moment, this seems to be the most efficient and best performing transmission, anyway, as far as I see it. This setup is able to shift at lightning speeds or be as smooth or even smoother than a conventional slush box. And lastly, the CVT. Now this transmission, although it sounds like new technology, has actually been around for a very, very long time. The most common type of CVT works on a pulley system, a driving and a driven pulley, both linked by a metal or rubber belt. Now as the size of the cones come closer or get further apart, ratios change, the belt moves around. It's actually not that complicated. There are very, very few parts in this transmission. As far as I'm concerned, the near technology belongs to the last 2 types of transmissions, but in some cases, if you've ever driven a Smart, for example, 4.2, a period of adjustment is required in order to fully appreciate their performance. Now, can we turn up the heat in here? I'm dying, I'm freezing!